everyone and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi, my name is Nicole and I'm a part-time reseller on Poshmark, and today I am back with another video on all things stock photos. You would really be surprised how many people I see still to this day wondering why their listings are being taken down by Poshmark, and people just don't seem to understand. And I know I've talked about this prior on my channel and I've been a broken record with it, and probably a lot of you are sick of hearing about this, but there are still so many new Poshers that don't understand why it's so dangerous to use stock photos and why you're not allowed to use them, and kind of like the whole reason behind it. So I hope this video kind of clears up any confusion. And also I want to put a disclaimer out there that I know there are going to be people that continue to use them after me making this video or even me making my other videos, and if you want to continue to use them, that is your own discretion, that is your own closet, you can do that, but just be aware that you are putting your own closet and your own business at risk by doing that. And I've heard the argument so many times of, well, other Poshers do it, so I'm gonna do it. And yeah, I mean, I guess that's valid, but also you're putting your business at risk just because other people are doing it, and that's not really the best way to approach it. So just because somebody else is doing it doesn't mean that you should be doing it as well. So hopefully this video will clear up any confusion that you have and really explain why it's not good to be using stock photos. Let's take a step back. So a lot of you may not understand what stock photos are and why it's not allowed. So basically a stock photo is just using the company photo that they have for the listing in your own listing on Poshmark. So say you take a picture of an item, you use the Google Lens app to find out the item and find the stock photo of it from the company's website. You put it in your Poshmark listing as the cover photo or a later photo and say that you are selling this item. Now, this in itself is wrong and not allowed, and it's illegal, and it's also copyright, and a lot of people don't understand what that means. So copyright is basically material that you don't own the rights to, and you are not allowed to use these stock photos if you don't get permission from the companies, which most people do not when they are using these photos. And so by you using these stock photos in your closet, you're actually, doing something illegal. You're using the copyright stock photos, which you could get in trouble for, and you're also breaking Poshmark's policy. And also, if you look at Poshmark's website, it clearly says that you're not allowed to do this, and if you kind of get your account flagged too many times, you can actually get banned for it. Now, a lot of people, when I've mentioned this in the past, people have said, well, no one's gotten banned yet, or like they always take down my listings, but I don't get banned for it. But if you have an entire closet full of stock photos, say 1,000 listings full, eventually your account is going to get flagged for having so many listings removed that it might actually become a problem. And it's not really worth finding out when that problem will actually come. It's worth it to just be safe and not do it from the start. And another argument I've heard is, all the big Poshers use stock photos, or there's so many people that use stock photos on the platform, they can't come after me, or they're not going to come after all of us. And that's just not true, and it's not a good way to look at it, because there are so many companies that are cracking down more and more nowadays on people using these stock photos, and Poshmark is cracking down as well, because the reason Poshmark has to come after us is because they don't want to get sued themselves as a company for having these images on their platform. So they come to the individual sellers and say, hey, please remove your listing, or hey, we're going to remove your listing for you using this stock photo so we don't get in trouble. So they're kind of protecting themselves, but also protecting us from any situation. And like I said, so many more companies are cracking down than they were prior. I remember a few years ago, I actually had a couple listings taken down before I knew that this was, a problem. And I stopped using them because, well, one, I got nervous, and two, I just didn't think it was worth the risk. And also, I would just rather take my own photos. It's extremely misleading to use a stock photo anyway, especially if the item is not new with tag. So I just find that it's better to use your own photos. And when I've actually talked to a bunch of buyers on Poshmark, a lot of people have actually said that they prefer to purchase from someone that doesn't use stock photos because they feel like they're being a little bit more honest of a seller. So take that with, what you want, take it with a grain of salt. And if you don't want to listen and you still want to use those stock photos, like I said in the beginning, you can go ahead and do that. But just to let you know that, you are putting yourself at risk, you are putting your closet at risk, and it's just not really worth it to me. And the amount of people I still see to this day, I saw 3 people today post in a Facebook group that I'm in saying that their listings got removed for stock photo and they didn't understand why, or they didn't understand that this was a policy. And like I said, I have made so many videos on this prior about how it's so bad to do, and I guess people just choose to, not listen, or they just don't know. And most of the time I feel like it's people just don't listen until it affects them. And so I just wanted to make this video and just kind of talk about it and let you know that, look, like, they're cracking down more and more, and it's just not okay to be doing that. Somebody else took the time to make those photos, to style those photos, and you are stealing those photos, which is, just not right on so many levels. So whether you choose to listen to me or not is your decision. But just know that if Poshmark does come after you, or these other companies come after you, because I think actually you could get fined for it, like on a larger scale. It's not just Poshmark, it's like any of these companies could come after you. And again, the chances of that are a lot smaller just because there's so many people online that use them. But again, just not worth the risk, not worth the potential like trouble that you could get into. Just take your own photos. It really makes your items look a lot better, and also that's why I really recommend having a mannequin, because that way you can actually style the photo the way you want to, and then you don't have to worry about using those stock photo images and getting in trouble with Poshmark. And real quick before I end this, I want to talk about why you don't want your account to get flagged, because there's a section in your closet that says like how many listings were moderated removed, and if you get too many of those in a period of time, Poshmark will flag your account and either temporarily or permanently ban you without even really giving you a warning. So make sure that you're keeping an eye on those moderately removed listings, and make sure that you don't have too many coming at once. So like if you're using a lot of stock photos and a lot of listings are getting taken down all at once, make sure you're keeping an eye on that, because this will affect your closet. And I've seen some cases where some people's closets were shut down and they were not even given a warning, and there was no way to get their closet back. And you really don't want that to happen to yourself. So I hope this video was helpful, and like I said, I know I've talked about this in prior videos, and I know a lot of you have strong opinions one way or another on this, but it's just so important to follow the rules and do what's right, and not just do what other poshers are doing, and not just do what other sellers are doing. You don't want to fall in the same trap as everybody else. So if you want to see another video on features that you should be using on Poshmark, you can click right here. And if you want to see a video on brands that have been selling for me so far this year, you can click right here. But until next time, I will see you then.